Yeah, this is Bang Bang Right Hill. I remember years ago, we was talking about it today, about the first time that I ever got nicked. Well, not the first time I got nicked. The first time I ever went to prison. It wasn't actually a prison. It was a youth centre. It was called Ashford Remand Prison. It's for young offenders, even younger than that. And I was one of the young ones at the time. And went in there. It was like very scary, I went into the reception and made you take all your clothes off, put you into a bath, dirty water, got washed, and give you stuff that you would never even, you just chuck it, put it in the bin outside. Pants that come down to your knees, shirts that maybe 2 sizes too big for you, big vests, dirty jumpers, dirty bedding. Everything's not clean, all smells. But what can you do? You know what I mean? You just started your first time in prison. Everybody's taking a mickey. I was big, but I wasn't that big. 1960, what was it, 65, 66? A long time ago, mate. And you had to line up to go in to pick up all your stuff and to go get your food. The food was diabolical. You never tasted anything like it in your life. You didn't have that much time to eat it. They was on your go straight away. Come on, wing, here we go. You march everywhere you went. You're marching everywhere you went, one behind each other, marching. You don't make no noise. You can't sneeze. You can't cough, mate. You're in trouble. You go to a wing. You're outside the cell. Stand outside your cell. They go to each cell. You stand outside the cell. They come along, open the cell door, put you in. If I remember rightly, you never had a light above. You had a light in like an alcove. You had a light in there, yeah, and that was it. And you go in there. You got all your bedding. And when I went in there, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, this is a joke. You know what I mean? It was very dim in there. Nothing in there at all but a pot. I mean, it was an aluminium pot, and that's how I first got to see the aluminium pot. There was a jug in there. They made us get water. We got water, and the bed was like sort of like a very light brown horsehair, solid, absolutely solid. The pillow was horsehair. The bed was. Someone had slept in there. It was still the same shape as the person that slept there before. Your sheets were sort of like really, really hard. Blankets. It was just freezing. There was no heating in there. It was absolutely freezing cold. You're shaking. You make your bed. You're not allowed in your bed. You're not allowed in your bed until they tell you can get in your bed. So you've got to sit on a chair. The chairs are about, I don't know, old. Desks, everything's old and thick wood, yeah? It's all thick wood, not thin wood, it's all thick wood. Everything's old, the cupboards are old, everything's old. You're lucky to get a little a cabinet in there where you put your clothes in. Usually you have to put them on the floor or whatever. And where I was, you have to put them on the floor. There was nowhere to put them as such, yeah? So you put everything on the floor and they come along, lights out, bed, and you get in bed and you listen, you're getting in bed and all you can hear is people screaming and shouting, leave me alone, screaming, like that. They must be going and do sorts of all things to these kids, and bullying them and this, that and the other, yeah. And it really frightened me, I mean, I was a young kid. 14, 15 years of age then, yeah, maybe 15. And in the morning, I could hear rattling with what it was, stick, I suppose it was a truncheon, rattling, banging the doors, putting the light on outside. It was very dim. You couldn't really see nothing in the cell, very dim. You had to get out. In the cell was a form that tells you how to pack your bed up, how to put it in, how to fold your sheets up, how to put it in order. You have to do exactly what it is. I mean, obviously, so the more you're in the cell, and the more you're there, the longer you're there, the more you get to learn, yeah. And you're there, you're trying to do it as quick as possible before the door opens up, yeah. Because if that door opens up and your stuff's not like it is, you're in trouble. So I'm rushing about as much as I can. I can't do it. The door opens. Screws in there. In Ashford, Mum said at that time, was all they have dark blue uniforms with shirts with dark blue shirts, black tie, military as anything. The caps, the front of the cap was cut down over the nose. You couldn't even see their eyes. They could see you, used to look up like that and look at you. They could see you, and mate, there was really military, yeah, military police, massive guys. Well, say massive guys. You're young, you know what I mean. To you, they're like 10 foot tall, and they you know, and they're bullies, and they are complete bullies. All you hear is no sir, yes sir, screaming and shouting. People, no sir, please sir, all that going, you know. And I open the door. You go and get your water. In your jug, you come back, shut the door, and you put your water in the thing. You got little white bars of soap. You have a wash, yeah. I come to your door. I come in with a razor, and they come in with a razor. They undo it, put your fucking blade in it. I mean, now, later on in my time, the razor used to be in the cell, but now they come in with a razor and they put a blade in it. They do it up and give you it, yeah. I was really too young to even shave, but you got to take it, you got to do it, you got to have it there, and it's all done. They got the soap and everything, the shaving soap, and you got when they come in next time, you got to have your shirt, you got to have your shirt on, buttons done up. Doesn't have to wear a tie. Your top buttons must be done up. You put your trousers on or your jeans on, and everything's got to be prim and proper, but it isn't prim and proper because everything you got is absolutely stinking. You just look a state. But there are people in there that look crisp, yeah, because they've been in there quite a long time, so they get to know the score, where the gear comes from. But I'm a kid in a little kid's wing, yeah, and I'm frightened. Because it frightens me, you know what I mean. First time I've been away, I think I'm a little big time tried potatoes. I'm a young kid that likes to fight, but he frightens me in there because I hear a lot of screaming. But I heard a lot of screaming at night time, and it frightens a life out of you. What's going on in that place, you know what I mean? And Bob, to bang the door. And you get rid of your water, this and then come back to your cell, and you sit down. Your bed is put up against the wall. Your mattress is put up against the wall with the bed, and you hang over things over the bed, and that's it. That bed don't come down. The only time the bed comes down is at night time. That bed stays up there. Anybody caught in that bed, you're in trouble. Obviously, you're going to put it down and try and just lay down on it. But what I used to do, and listen, I'm telling you something. Them cells in Ashford Mine prison was absolutely freezing and high, very high, freezing cold. The windows was mostly smashed out. It's very hard to complain in there. If you complain, it makes it even worse for yourself. So the best thing is not to complain; is to get on with it. So what I learned to do. Take it, you risk it for your own. You risk it. You got to risk it, mate. Because if you don't risk it, it's part of learning, yeah, a learning curve, yeah. So I used to lay on the floor. Pardon me. I used to lay on the floor, a freezing cold floor. I mean, on about floors that are freezing cold, yeah, absolutely bitter. Lay on the floor. Mum booked 2 books maybe under your head and put a blanket over you and lay on the floor. You can't get them out. You mustn't lay up. Listen, it's ridiculous to try and take the mattress out of the bed. The mattress goes first, your bed goes second, yeah? You can't pull it down. You pull it down, you don't know what sort of noise it makes, and it's going to take. And if they open that door, and how are you going to put the mattress behind the bed? You're going to get captured. You're going to get yourself in trouble. So what I used to do, I used to lay on the floor, with a book or two books under my head, if not even a book under my head, on my hand, yeah, lay on the floor and go to sleep. Freezing cold, you eventually get to sleep, you know what I mean? Because at night time you haven't been asleep at all because your bed's all over the gaff, all lumpy, bumpy. The pillows are the same, and you're freezing cold. And you've got to try and get to sleep. So you nod off. You always nod off, yeah. You hear the crashing and banging and crashing and banging and banging and banging the doors. You know that they're going to come around and check it all out. So you rush up quickly, fold the bed up, fold the mattress, the sheet, the blanket up as quick as you can, and put it on the bed, yeah, in lines, yeah. You stand up to attention. You open the door. You come out. Your cell. Now don't forget, you don't eat in your cell, yeah. You eat in the dining room, yeah. Don't take food in your cell. You're not allowed to have food in your cell. Canteen, you can't really take anything in your cell as such. You might be allowed sweets now and again. You're not allowed. You don't get enough money to buy sweets. You know what I mean? Anyway, so you're in your cell. You go down to the canteen. It's usually the big people that's like 15 and over. I think it's up to 18 years of age, 17, 18 years of age to get their food first. Yeah, I think it's even younger than that. They get their food first. They're sitting in there. There wasn't many black guys in there when I was there, but the black guys that were in there were massive, mate. They was really big guys, you know what I mean? And you sort of like go in there. They're sitting down, having their breakfast. You go to another part of the dining room to eat your breakfast. Yeah, I mean young, maybe there might be 30 young kids my age in there. Go and get their food, and as you're going up to get your food, you've got these screws looking at you all the time in a funny old way. You know, I mean, it's funny. Don't forget, I've been sexually abused as a child. I'm petrified myself anyway. I don't even know what's going on in that place. It frightens me. Kids screaming at night time, yeah. And you're walking in there. You walk into a table. You get a table with numbers on it. You go and sit at the table. You go and eat your breakfast. You sit there. You can't take your tray. You got the tray there. You got your little bowl in there. Your porridge, or that's about it. Your porridge. You get a couple of slices of bread, bit of butter. Another butter, and if you're lucky, but you get more as a child than you do as a big con because you're a kid, aren't you? So you get more food, you're allowed more bread. That's about it, really. So you eat your food, sitting down, sitting upright. Your trays on the side, coming away. Go. You take your gear, put it on into the thing. Wash it around and put it in a stack. Yeah, not because they clean it after, but you got to take everything off it, wash it with water, clean it, but put it up. Go back to the table, sit down and wait like a child. Honestly, you got to fold your arms and that's it. All of a sudden, they're taking you to the back to your wing. The bigger kids have already gone up to the wings. But what I noticed, which I couldn't work out what it was, I know what it is now. It's a thing called bunny hops, yeah? Where there'd be bunny hopping everywhere. And there was a screw called Hooper. And he used to get people to put their hands behind their head and bunny hop everywhere. Jump. And he used to do it to the bigger boys, and they was going mad. They was always deaf and blind. And he used to get clumped around the heads and all this, that and the other. It with sticks and whatnot, you know, and I thought, fucking hell, I can't believe it. I can't believe how this is, you know, this is supposed to be, you know, like you're a young kid, you don't expect it to be that sort of rough. I'm young, you know, now I ain't got a mate, but yet then. So all of a sudden the march, you goes to your cells, it's all single, yeah? You go to your cells, you go in your cell, you're not allowed on your bed. You're allowed to sit down, and that's it. What can you do, mate? You can't do anything. You're sitting in there, in the thing. All of a sudden, the door opens up. Do you want to work? Of course you want to work. Yes, I do, Governor. Will you call me? Yes, I do, sir. Sorry. Yes, I do, sir. Okay. You're going to this little shop, doing these silly mail bags, cleaning, mostly cleaning the toilets out, cleaning the wing out, mopping it all up and bits and pieces. But when you go to the canteen, sometimes our job is to go to the canteen, not the canteen, sorry, the canteen, go to the canteen and clean it out. Clean it out. Clean it as much as you can clean it, yeah? Just clean all the tables, clean. And then you'll see these bigger kids coming through the thing again, like doing these bunny hops, and it's geezer hooper, this PTI hooper, running around with these kids, doing bunny hops. They're doing bunny hops everywhere, all screaming and shouting, going mad. He come to our GH in K or something, GH, I can't remember the wings now. GH, I think it was G wing, H wing, and it's in Ashford, mine, yeah. It's for us young kids, yeah. Young. So all of a sudden the cells open up, boss, it's this hooper taking us to the gym for exercise. So you go in there, he's getting you to do all these star jumps, burpee. Well, I know now they are, but at that time you're learning. But as a young kid, it's quite easy for you know what I mean? It's not hard for you know what I mean? But then he starts saying to us, okay, bunny hops. And you're doing these bunny hops, it's on the knees, it does your knees in, and you bunny up all over the gaff, yeah? And then you get up and you, very rarely you get a shower in the places. The water's freezing cold anyway, it's a waste of time, you know what I mean? But obviously you do get showers, but they're not all that lively, in and out quick, bump, done, gone back to your cells. I was in the canteen one day, having our dinner. It was a bit noisy in there, shouting and screaming. Everyone was, schools were going mad in there. They was like bully bases. They was going a bit over the top, and this Hooper come in, this PTI fella come in, and started shouting about getting people doing bunny hops as a punishment, yeah? And I got this kid that sends me comments, and he's the kid, I forget his name now, he's the kid that was one of the ones that had that Hooper smashed his legs over the tables with in the dining room. I keep saying the canteen, but it's the dining room, yeah. Put him over the tables, smashed his legs with trays, yeah. Smashed his legs to pieces with trays because this guy was an out and out bully. He never stopped bullying. He bullied 24/7. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, try and imagine kids having to do bunny hops everywhere, up the stairs, down the stairs, up the landings, all round, and keep bunny hopping. And if you stop, mate, he'd bash you up. He'd want to bash you up bad, you know what I mean? So this geezer was a bully. He had to go, mate. Well, either way, he had to go. He wasn't going to go. But I mean, they ain't going to stand for it, you know. He just wouldn't stand for it. I mean, I was a young kid, and you know, you want to kill him for what he's doing to you. But your young kids, not exercise isn't that bad. But these boys, they didn't give a fuck, mate. They didn't care. I think there was a couple of black guys involved. I know the white guy that comments me, he was the one who smashed the legs. The others are the ones that held him. There were big guys in there, mate, some big kids. When I say big, it's because I'm young and I'm tiny, yeah? I was tiny as that. I didn't start getting big until I was 18, 17, 18, yeah? My YPs and all that, you know, my ball stalks and all that. But being that age, 14, 15 years of age, it's like, you know, listen, let me tell you something. The worst place in the world, I think, was Ashford Remand Prison in them days, in the 60s. Listen, you and the way they bash you up and the screams those you hear at night. There was a white kid on our wing. He was for the age he was a big guy, and he was a bully. Without a shadow of doubt, he was a bully. Being me, I've done a little bit of boxing. I was a bit lively, really, and he started bullying me. You know, for certain things that he got around. He wants, yeah, toothpaste, soap you can buy at the canteens, toothpaste. He wants that, yeah. So he started bullying me, yeah. So at first I thought, well, you know, just give in to him a little bit. I don't want no aggravation, so I'll give him a tube of toothpaste, yeah. So he took my toothpaste. He was a bully tactics that night. And then I met a couple of guys in there, same age as me, that didn't really stand for all this crap. I said, look, he's got to go, this geezer. He's a bully. Don't forget, I'm just learning about prison. I'm just learning about being in prison at that age. He's got to go, yeah? So don't forget I told you that in the cells, the chairs and the tables are thick wood, yeah? Massive wood. And all these chairs and things, they've got a centre bit, yeah? The holds it all together. And this kid I was with, or I got to know, not nothing in the cell single, not nothing, I wasn't in the cell with anybody, yeah? But he didn't care. He didn't care what he done. He was a lunatic, but he was not a lunatic why he was having a fight, but with something in his hand. And this kid being a bully, this big kid being a bully, he had to get it. He was definitely going to get it, mate. We knew that he was going to get it, you know what I mean? And you can imagine, can't you, all these young kids, and you got one there who's bigger than them all. He wants to be the bully, yeah? He wants to show everybody that he is the number one in there, he's the bully. But there's kids in there that don't stand it for it, mate. That have been all through the approved schools, the detention centres. I've never done detention. I've never done Borstal. I've never done, what else? What else can there be? Approved school? I've never done all that, you know what I mean? So I've done it from Borstal to YPs, big prisons, and I've done all that, but I've never done detention centres and all that sort of thing. But there's kids in there, they have done it, and they know the score. So this kid was bully. So when you go out shopping out in the morning, you go to the recess, and these recesses are really old, mate. I mean, really old. The slop out bins are really old. You know, the urinal place is ancient, mate. Ancient. It stinks. You know, it's really ancient. There's no lights in there. It's pitch black as such. The sinks are horrible. You got guys in there brushing their teeth in there and all. You're not allowed, but they do. And you got smell. It's all shit everywhere. Yeah. And anyway, these big guys in there bullying his way through the thing to get to the slop out thing to empty his pot. Yeah. No one chucks things out the window, mate. If you chuck things out the window, you're in trouble. You can't do like the big prisons where you fold it up in paper. You don't get no paper anyway, but you couldn't chuck it out the window, you'd be dead. Anyway, so this kid is coming in with his barging by, and this kid, the guy that I know, the young kid that I know who's done detention centres, he's done all the food schools and all that, he knows the score, yeah? Listen to me tell you something, mate. He hit this guy. This guy with this bit of wood. I mean, it was quite big, you know. It came off the table, and it was in the middle, a long piece in the middle, and it was solid like an oak thing. He hit this geezer across the head with his thing, mate. The geezer, he was gone. Shook his head, mate. He was gone. He was smashing him with his thing, right? But then he started stabbing him. With this like a knife, plastic knife that he'd nicked because everything you get, knives, forks, it all got to come from the kitchen. You never have it in your cell. You don't have it in your cell because you don't eat in your cell, yeah? You eat out, so everything's done. He must have nicked it from the kitchen. He's go around and get your food, and he's got his plastic knife. He must have sharpened it up forever, and he stabbed this kid. I don't know, as much as he could, I suppose. On the swift, he kept stabbing him. And he's done it, just stabbing him. He wasn't going straight in, he was just stab. First time I ever see that, you know what I mean? Especially as a young kid. I couldn't believe it, mate. I couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And this kid's screaming like anything, and he kept stabbing. All of a sudden the screws come in. I mean, they come like lunatics, mate. They come in, I don't know, 6, 7-handed. Big sticks. I'm not on about the truncheons, but I'm on about big sticks. They come in with big sticks. They battered both of them. Even the kid on the floor that had been stabbed to pieces, right, they smashed him to pieces with these big truncheons. The kid that done it, they nearly killed him, mate. They nearly killed him. They kept hitting him with the truncheons. They dragged him down the block. Let me tell you something. The block down there, I've never been to the block. Never been to the block in Ashford Mile Prison. But you get to hear about it. The block down there is a block. It's deep. It's deep in Ashford, deep, yeah. And the block in there is just pitch black. You go in there in the cell. You can't. There's no hardly any windows in there. It's black, 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 black. And the beds are that far from the floor. Tiny little beds. Tiny thin mattress. And that bed's up against the wall with a mattress. You get one blanket and it's absolutely, this is what we get told, it's absolutely freezing in there. This is where maybe all the screams come from. You hear all the screams and shouting at night time. This is where it all comes from, yeah? From the block, I should imagine. You know, I mean, when they dragged that kid down the block, I mean, the kids have got stabbed to pieces. They dragged him down along the landing. I mean, there was blood everywhere. They just dragged him down there. He was unconscious. They just dragged him very wet. I don't know why they went to the hospital. But, mate, listen, that's the worst time I've ever had in Ashford Mile Prison. That's the first time I thought, nah, I'm never, ever going to go in prison in my life. After seeing that, you're young, I'll come out of there and I've got nothing. I think I got something like 3 months suspended sentence for something like that, something stupid like that, and a fine. I think I nicked some papers. I was done something. I'm not quite sure. Out of a shop, we nicked some out of a shop. Anyway, anyway. But my mate with me, he was in the big side. He was in the big side of the prison. I never see him. I didn't even see him once in the dining out. I didn't see him once. I never see him. I thought he'd got bail or something, yeah. But when we all got released, I got released with him, yeah. And I was sort of telling him, I couldn't believe it, mate. I couldn't believe it. When I was telling him about what goes on, he said, listen, mate, let me tell you, the big side is worse than that little side. There's people every day getting stabbed. There's people every day getting smashed to pieces. I should imagine there's more deaths in Aylesbury, in Ashford Mile Prison than any other prison in England. They're stabbing people 24/7. The screws are bashing people up 24/7. Bad. And he said, I'm telling you, the screws in Ashford Mile Prison in the 60s, right, they was like all big MPs, military police, as I told you, with the caps down here, with the thing down here, and just frightening people, yeah. And when you go in there, mate, that's enough for me. I thought, I'm never going to prison. Never. I'm never going to go to prison. What happens? I never stopped. I never stopped, mate, after that, you know what I mean? I never stopped. And when you think of all the people that have gone through schools, detention centres and all that, yeah, you think that's enough, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? But, I mean, I've been at home with sex abusers out in the home. I've been this, I've been that, sex abuse. But never thought, when I went to Ashford Mile Prison, I mean, when I visited a mate of mine and went there again, it was completely different. It was all modern and this and the other. But to go in there, in the visit room, right, and look around the prison, the way that you remember it, it's all changed, mate. It was like, mate, honest to God, it was the worst place ever. And to think people, I mean, come on, when that geezer stabbed that geezer about 15, 20 times with that knife and done it across the head with a bit of wood, you know, you think, God, but then you get being told that it's happening all the time in the main prison. They're doing it all the time in there, you know what I mean? Kids are kids, and no one gives a monkeys, you know what I mean? And most of them, in the big side of it, all done detention centres, approved schools, and all that sort of thing, all nut-nuts. And I just started, you know, and it's sort of like, it gave me an education, really. It gave me an education because the next time I went to Ashford, on remand, but I only went there for a couple of weeks, and I went to the big side, and I found it very easy. I was boxing and something, no one bothered me. But as a kid, to remember as a kid going on the other wings, And going through what I went through as a kid. I mean, going through your food and people nicking your food and all that. This like bully people nicking your food. It goes on. It goes on, and you're a kid, and people nicking your grub, and the people who dishing it out. They're big. They're big cons. When I say big, they're on the other side. They're 16, 17. They're bigger. You know what I mean? And they're bullying too. They're bullying. You know what I mean? Everybody's looking at everybody in a funny way. I think there's a lot of sexual things going on in that prison. I just felt it, you know what I mean? You feel it. I've gone through it myself, so you're feeling it all the time, yeah? As I say, you hear lots of screams at night time. I personally thought it was coming from the block, but the block was deep down, but you can always hear screams coming from that direction. When I heard about it in the block, and what it's like, pitch black in there, dark, hardly any windows in there. It's freezing cold. And 9 times out of 10 you sleep on the floor, you know what I mean? And to think that we're supposed to be human beings. We're supposed to be human beings, and the screws are supposed to be human beings, and yet they treat you like, well, even animals don't get treated like that, you know what I mean? And they're supposed to be looking after you, yeah? They're supposed to be looking after you, and they're animals themselves, yeah? They're animals, mate. They're just, I don't know what it is. They're just completely, I mean, you know, them people must live. They must live in that prison. They must live in there and never go out of that prison, because you never, you know, you could, I don't know, you just look at it and you think to yourself, one day I want to come and look for you. But them people, I believe, they lived in Ashford Remand Prison. They never come out of that place, mate. Because they was different people you could never imagine. Big people, mate, big people, growling all the time, just want to bash you up, hurt you, and that's it. And even if you get bashed up, right, and you got your cell, you can't be laying on the floor, mate. You got to sit on that chair, sobbing. And the only time you can lay on that floor is when they shut that door and they go for 2 hours for dinner. Or an hour and a half for dinner, and you've got a chance to lay on that floor and put a blanket over you and go to sleep. Freezing cold floor. Mad. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Radio. Please press the like button and subscribe. It's just a little story about Ashford Remand Prison, how it really is. How people don't realise what prison is about. As a kid, yeah? Take care, bye-bye.